So this could ultimately end up being a very expensive problem to fix. And it's the fact that GMC put a 6-month ownership requirement in the warranty for the 2024 Canyon AT4X. Now, this is on Jalopnik, and I wanted to share this with you guys. It says that in a bid to stop flippers, parts of the Canyon's warranty will be voided if an owner suddenly finds themselves with an offer for the truck that they can't refuse. The act of buying a popular or desirable car just to resell it to someone else for more money, also known as flipping, is a pain in the ass for every automaker with a desirable model. Even with plenty of examples of people placing the wrong bets that they'll be able to sell their car on some auction sites and losing, greedy buyers still engage in the practice, and some automakers have made moves to stop this. Now, one of the other stories that I want to share with you, I'll probably end up doing it tomorrow, is this new option that Amazon's going to offer next year, 2024, I believe, where they're going to allow you to buy vehicles. I think Hyundai is the first one they'll allow you to buy on their website. Now, this to me has a huge impact and implication for the automotive industry, primarily affecting the sales person role, as they are phased out and eliminated in more ways than one. And you having the ability to purchase a vehicle online, but now also the direct to consumer approach from Tesla, from Lucid, from Rivian, from others, is going to be really, really interesting. And I'd be willing to bet that maybe one day we see Ford's Model E doing something similar, but time will tell. Now, as we continue on here, it says that GM is one of those automakers fighting back against flipping. GM Authority reports that GMC has put language in the warranty of the Canyon AT4X that will void certain parts of the truck's warranty if a buyer goes and flips it. GM Authority says the stipulation can be found in the language for the truck's warranty coverage. It requires a 6-month ownership period for both the Canyon AT4X and the AT4X AEV edition, both high-priced off-road versions of the Canyon. And if a buyer gets greedy though and flips it before those 6 months, they'll find these parts of the truck's warranty voided. And they include bumper-to-bumper warranty, powertrain warranty, sheet metal coverage, tire coverage, accessory coverage. So essentially, probably anything and everything, really. I guess the only one that they didn't include is the emissions coverage on the emissions warranty. But I'm not gonna lie, guys, with the way that these vehicles are built today, there's no way I would want to buy anything and not have a warranty, especially the poor level of quality control, in addition to how expensive everything is to repair and replace. Yeah, just not gonna happen. But I also didn't know that the Canyon was a very popular small size pickup truck. I was driving around today, I was in traffic, and I saw there was a Canyon Denali. And I thought to myself, what a stupid idea. Like, who would want a Canyon Denali? Like, I feel like a Denali should be limited to a Sierra at, 1,500, 2,500, but a Canyon Denali? But, to each their own. But I think if you're going to spend the money, just go buy a real truck. But they say that these Canyon models aren't the first vehicles GM has had this requirement for. As GM Authority pointed out, the ownership requirement has been placed on a few GM models, most of which are popular with flippers and dealer markups. General Motors has placed similar ownership requirements on other high-demand enthusiast vehicles, such as the 2023 and 2024 Corvette Z06. You guys remember that whole situation with the Stradman, the 20 and his broken transmission, the 2024 Corvette E-Ray. Again, definitely not a vehicle that I would want to own without a warranty, especially first model year, first iteration of it at all, and being a battery essentially. But granted, it still has a V8, so, but the complexities there, these are cars you're not going to be fixing in your driveway for the most part. Not unless you're Travarish or something like that. But the 2023 and 2024 GMC Hummer EV pickup, the 2024 GMC Hummer EV SUV, and the 2023 and 2024 Cadillac Escalade V, which sounds like a monster when you start it up, all have this stipulation. General Motors previously instated an ownership requirement of 12 months, but later reduced the requirement to 6 months. Additionally, some Chevy owners were offered 500,000 My Chevrolet Rewards points, a $5,000 value for retaining ownership of their new vehicle for the duration of the required ownership period. It's funny, it's a crazy world that we live in today, right? It says, lastly here, it says, it's interesting to see GM take such a firm stance against owners who want to make some extra money off a vehicle purchase. However, some may have a problem with the stance, as GM is essentially coming out against owners making extra money, but isn't as heavy-handed about dealers doing nearly the same with big vehicle markups. So, you know, there needs to be some form of consistency here with the penalties and punishments, right? So that's a good question. How could these dealerships or manufacturers impose these infractions on dealerships for abusing the markup? But again, I'm going to read some of these comments, and maybe the dealerships aren't in the wrong. And the first one here, the comment says, I think I've asked this before, but perhaps not. How in a free market economy in a country that places such huge value on property rights can a company dictate what you can and cannot do with an asset that you've purchased? I can see them being allowed to incentivize ownership through rewards, but to say you can or cannot do X with something you've purchased feels very unlike the America I look in at from afar. Okay, so I'm assuming that this comment came from someone who doesn't live in America. And in response to that, the first comment here says, first reply says, we are not a free market economy. Next one says, they aren't saying you can't do something with it. They're saying that GM aren't then going to be compelled to offer you coverage. So I can see how this could be misinterpreted and misunderstood. Another one here says, except they are not disallowing you from doing anything. You're still perfectly within your right to do whatever you want with the car. This clause is just saying the manufacturer's commitment to provide warranty service is subject to your commitment keeping it. It's basically the same as a product manufacturer having a non-transferable warranty. It's not really a you can't do this thing. It's more of a you sign this agreement and will adhere to it, or these are the consequences thing. Kind of like many things, if you don't like it, you can go buy something else. People can vote with their money, and if they don't like this type of policy, don't buy their cars. If enough people follow that, GM will see. In reality, this won't happen because people are notoriously self-serving. And this comment here says, I'm actually okay with this. I think flipping is a small part as to why dealers try and stick so much on over the MSRP. Why sell it at MSRP when a guy will drive it off the lot and sell it for an extra 20K? That said, dealer markups only work because morons out there are willingly paying them in the first place. A response to that is, this doesn't punish the flipper, this punishes the second owner who is left holding the bag. And then another one says, except you're assuming this is some secret between the owner and GM. In reality, the people in the market for these specialty vehicles are likely to be aware of this clause and adjust what they're willing to pay accordingly. After all, we aren't talking about some Corolla or Civic appliance car. These are niche specialty vehicles where buyers are more likely to be well informed about the vehicle they're buying. So, number one, the dealers, tacking on this extra markup. I have to equate this to the Rolex authorized dealer AD waitlist situation. And they could do the same, yet they choose not to. They stick to their MSRP and they offer their timepieces or watches for whatever the current price is set by Rolex, knowing that the secondhand pre-owned market would more than likely potentially sell for more being pre-owned. But that's the stance that they take. Now, the markup, again, if you're going to pay it, like, that's pretty much your problem. If people stop paying it, then we would potentially stop having the problem. But as long as people are willing to continuously indulge in this, then that's how we get to the point of having these $18 Big Mac combo meals. So, but the other thing is I don't think this is really going to work, okay? Because essentially, they'll factor these risks into the price. And again, it's not about you not being able to do certain things. It's about incentivizing potential secondhand buyers engaging in these transactions with flippers to forego the sale because they don't want to buy a brand new vehicle that is now pre-owned and used because it's been titled, that also doesn't have a warranty. So it's a great idea in theory. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it plays out. But at the end of the day, I think there's some folks out there who don't really care, and they're going to continue to pay the price. And no matter what that price is, and that price will continuously be passed on to everyone else who's interested in playing this game on these limited production special edition vehicles that are already inherently expensive as it is, just by way of them being what they are. But maybe the catch to it all is that these third-party warranty companies are going to see an opening and opportunity to step in and say, go buy the latest GM product that they'll void your warranty on if you sell it within 6 months, and we'll sell you a warranty for, you know, a few $1,000s for however many months or years or mileage that you want. It is what it is. No harm, no foul. We're here to take your money. That's a possibility. What do you guys think?